Hi guys, it's Stephanie. It's Thursday, November 11th. And today, I want to share my final decision on relocating up north to be a little closer to my family. I'm considering moving up to Rhode Island, and I've been doing all the necessary searches for a place to live. And despite all this, I have come to a final decision. But first, before I continue, I want to thank all my subscribers who have been very supportive of my channel all year long. And if you're just visiting my channel and browsing through my videos, if you find something that resonates with you, then please consider to subscribe. Don't forget to hit that top bell if you decide to subscribe. That way you'll get future notifications of all my uploads. And I'll have more when we return. Okay guys, so here we go. So after careful thinking, based on the pros and cons, which I laid out pretty clearly on a sheet of paper, I decided not to proceed with the relocation for many reasons. Some of the reasons involve my current living situation here where I live and I own the home. And some of the reasons have to do with the cost of living in Rhode Island. Okay? The cost of living in Rhode Island is much more expensive for me as a single person to live in Rhode Island. So that was probably the biggest reason. The second biggest reason is I'll be leaving a cheaper state with a more affordable expense with this home versus more expense for a smaller home in Rhode Island. It would cost me roughly, in the beginning, it would cost me a rent of $1,250 average just to live in an apartment for a one-bedroom 700 square foot home in Rhode Island, as opposed to living here in a home that I own with no mortgage, just HOA fees, versus Rhode Island. It cost me $530 a month. The HOA fees here, to me, is like paying rent, okay? And those fees are only $530 a month, as opposed to paying $1,250 to live up north in Rhode Island in a smaller home of 700 square foot, roughly just under half of what I have here. Doesn't make no sense. With the increase in gas prices, to go up there, which is an initial cost for gas and U-Haul, is not a factor. Those are one-time things. okay? I could have made it easily possible to work out for me in Rhode Island, but 3/4 of my pay would be going just for monthly rent. And I can assure you that after the first 3 months, there will be an increase in my rent, which could possibly take it to $1,300 a month, because the past 15 years here, I have seen a considerable amount of rent increase. When I moved to Bradenton, Sarasota area, I first started to rent, and my rent was $738 a month for a 740 square foot apartment for just me. That's right, $738. That apartment today, that same apartment here in Bradenton area where I live, is about $1,200 a month. $1,200 a month. Okay? With the increased 6% inflation that we are witnessing right now, and the cost of gasoline just says to me it's not worth it. Okay? My HOAs here do increase every year, but it's about $25 to $30 a year increase. Okay? It would take me years and years upon years to equal out, or probably never equal out, the cost of rent in Rhode Island. I saw some areas that were $900 a month in Rhode Island to rent, fairly cheap, okay? But guess what? They're not in very nice places, okay? And if I'm gonna bust my haunch at work and make a living, I'm 56 years old, why should I leave a nice area, a nicer home, to go live in Rhode Island to increase my cost of living just to be close to my family? Okay? I love them dearly, but I can't make my life up there less comfortable than what I am here. It doesn't make no sense. I am saddened that the increases of cost of living goes dramatically sky high for me, but it would not be smart for me to make this move right now. Okay? I would have to work, based on my math, 4 days a week, making minimum $15 for the 4 days, okay, about 20 hours a week, just to equal how I'm living here, and continue to pay the $1,250 a month, okay? And that's my final decision. Because of these increases, I was actually losing sleep. I'm like, oh my God. This is why I asked my brother not to mention nothing to my parents about this, because the cost of living anywhere is right now is expensive. And being a single person with not being married or not being in a relationship, living together as a couple, all the expenses is on me. Okay? So for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick with visiting my family when I can. And I just visited them last year. So this year I'm not going to go. And after speaking with my parents, they're going to be leaving the country soon anyways. And I don't want to go up there in the wintertime and be bogged in the house. You know, it can be pretty depressing. So after I made my final decision, I contacted my realtor because he had come by here. He looked over my home and we had agreed on a purchasing amount, and he looked it over. I called him back and I said, you know, this is not a good time for me. So I'm gonna just not do that right now. I'm just gonna stay put here in Florida. Those were not only the pros and cons, but also the fact that I have not lived up there in 20 years. And I would have to start all over again, which I don't mind. The winters can be very harsh, but I was raised up north when I came to this country when I was very young, and that's not a problem. It's the cost of living. The cost of living and being a single person is very, very difficult. Very, very difficult. And if I hadn't sold my 4x4 truck, it would have been even harder. It would have been even harder. You know, I had a vehicle payment of $500 a month. So right there, even if I had my 4x4 truck, which I could have used for the winter, then I would have to pay $500 a month plus the $1,250 of the rent. That right there puts me close to like $1,800 a month just to keep my 4-wheel drive truck and a roof over my head. You know, that's a big chance I'm taking to go up there. You know, and then having to find work because I wouldn't want to deplete my savings. You know, if I make an X amount of dollars from selling my home, I'm going to invest some of it and bank some of it. I don't want to go up there, find myself in hardship because I lost my job or lost my part-time job, or I get burnt out from working 2 jobs that I have to resort to dipping into my savings just to get by. That's not good. And I'm not one to ask family for financial assistance. Okay, I've never had to do it, and I'm not going to start now. So for now, I'm staying put. I'm staying right here in Florida, where my life is a lot easier, and there's no state taxes here. There are state taxes, heavy taxes in Rhode Island. So those are the reasons. Now, if I was purchasing a home, I wouldn't mind paying $1,200 a month because I can always get my money back if I decide to sell later on in life. But for me to go up there and pay somebody's rent, making other people rich off renting, which there's no return, it's clearly a no. You know, I thought that I'd be willing to work a part-time job plus my 40-hour work job. I would just end up getting all burnt out, overworking 4 days a week, just 3 days off. And I would also lose the position I have down here with my job. Even though it's a job transfer that I would do, it's not guaranteed that I would be offered the same position. And whatever they have opened is what I would have taken, and a chance of losing my income would have been pretty clear. So that's what I want to say to you guys, that I'm going to stay put right here and keep working just 1 job, not 2 jobs. If I decide to work another part-time job, it's because I want to save more money. That's all. Just stash my money away. But right now, I have no intentions of working a part-time job, just 1 job. So, anyways, if you guys want to comment on your feeling about me staying in Florida, I'd appreciate it. Don't forget to share. There could be people out there considering to move up north or someplace else. It's a bad time. Right now would be a bad time for this decision to relocate. I've driven up north a few times, a lot of times, and back then gas prices were so much cheaper too. It cost me roughly $50, okay, just to fill a tank up on a Toyota Camry, okay, and I use 93 octane. It's $3.30 a gallon. And I was watching somebody's podcast, and they were saying that we could see the gasoline prices go to $10, $10 a gallon. And they're like, don't be so surprised, because they've been paying this in Europe, in the UK, for years now, $10 a gallon. Oh my God. You're gonna send it cost you about $100, about $100 a tank. You know, that's freaking crazy. If you're paying $3.30 for a gallon, and it cost me $50 to fill up my tank, it's gonna cost you almost $100 in the 90s or high 80s just to fill up your tank. It's freaking crazy. A lot of people say it's because of the pandemic. I would just have to agree. The pandemic caused inflation. When we're short in supplies, things are not getting to the store in time to be purchased, whether it be groceries or whether it be hardware supplies or home building supplies. When those things are not in the store to be purchased, then the prices on those things are jacked up because the demand is greater. So you can bet your bottom dollar that the economy is staying this way. And the middle class and the hardworking people are going to have to work harder. And you can bet your bottom dollar that a lot of people will be looking for additional income. I believe it. And I might do it just in case the cost of living here is increased. Okay? So, hey, I hope you guys are doing well and you guys are taking it one day at a time. Thank you very much for checking out my channel tonight. And I'll be talking to you guys very soon. Don't forget to hit that like button and share. Leave me a comment and I will get back on your comments. Have a nice day, guys.